Joe Louis was the referee?
Mr.
Yeah,
Brisco,
go ahead, John.
I was going to say, Mr. Brisco told me one time, who was it that you had a match with? You had Buddy Rogers with Joe
Oh,
Louis.
I tag teaming with Buddy Rogers, and Joe Lewis was the special referee. And I just kind of nonchalantly.
No, notice how you just kind of glossed over that. Jerry, stop.
Joe Louis was the referee?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had Joe Lewis come up to me one time, Paul, and said, "Kid, I like being on your card. You mean money." I'm looking at Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis actually told me he liked being on my card, Joe, because he had followed me around. He followed me from St. Louis to Atlanta to Miami to Tampa to Greensboro, North Carolina. All packed houses. Joe Lewis was a special referee.
That's interesting to hear, though. I don't know that a lot of people, at least my age, know that kind of story because we think of the celebrity or different sports worlds coming into wrestling. We think of that as a newer thing, but that's interesting to find out that Joe Louis was getting involved in professional wrestling back in what was that, the 70s?
The '70s, yeah. Joe Lewis, Archie Moore was a special referee in one of my matches too. I mean, they'll wrestling promoter because they promoted boxing also, so the promoters had contact with these guys. So, the boxers after their fighting, it was sort of like old time wrestlers. There wasn't a lot to do after you got out of the ring, either boxer or wrestling. So most of the boxers would be special referees and make themselves paydays.
Smart.
Yeah, there was a time in the like late 1930s. It's very similar to now, very similar to the Attitude Era with Stone Cold and The Rock when Jim Londos got hot. That's when Primo Carnero, Bronco Nagurski, and a whole bunch of celebrities ended up in wrestling then because it became so big because of Londos. And Londos during the era of Jim Crow and segregation was the biggest draw in America, bigger than Babe Ruth as a Greek immigrant. It was an incredible story.